All right. Uh, Thank you everyone for joining, and um, we would be going through the major indexes, the stock indexes in the US, Canada, and some of the key stocks that are in the watch list of members who are on call, and we'll take any questions during the this session. We typically um, have this session to get an understanding from the technical indicators, what to expect from the markets and the stocks in the watch list in the coming week. So we'll first start with the US market indexes, S&P 500. Um, on the left hand side, what you're seeing is the index on the daily chart, and on the right hand side is the weekly chart. um, this week we saw a correction which was highly anticipated and uh, was needed based on the uptrend that market has had since April. So it was on the cards, not a surprise. uh, if you look at the candles at the top, uh, it was indicating that a correction is due, and we saw this with the three candles here, and then in the midweek, this week, the correction was seen almost like on all sectors. Towards the end of the week yesterday, in the second half we have seen some pullback, which is what we see with the long tail of this candle here. On some of the momentum indicators below, you can see a small reversal. um, with Williams RCCI, it has shown a reversal because of this pullback towards the end yesterday. However, it did not go into the oversold region, so this pullback could be short-lived, or for the start of the week, wherein we can expect prices to come up to the mid Bollinger Band here. The level that it closed yesterday was 6,728. So we can expect that it could touch 6,062 and could also face resistance around this level of 6,762 to 6,770. Or when if it's bigger momentum, it could touch to 6,780, then face resistance and continue further on the downward side. As we see some of other indicators like MACD, still it has not shown reversal. And before the start of recording, members mentioned that they are expecting further drop, which is quite likely, at least looking on the daily chart. If you look on the weekly chart, the pattern that it has formed based on these two candles is called bearish engulfing. Almost the body of this candle was engulfed by this uh, red body of this candle. This pullback happened from an EMA 10 to EMA 5 for closure, but obviously, in terms of the overall trend, the indicators are still downward on a weekly basis. So, on a weekly timeline, we can easily expect further correction. And for S&P 500, the mid Bollinger Band is close to 6485. So another about 250 or 300 points further drop on a weekly timeline is possible. So it's not that it will happen immediately in the next week, but in the coming weeks, that's possible and on the cards based on the indicators.
So, Kamal, quick question. So, if we are confident in the weekly chart, it might probably go down to that level. Does it make sense to buy puts?
So it's kind of a sell on rise market wherein you wait for this pullback to hit resistance, and then you can take puts. If you try to take a put immediately at the start of market on Monday, it would turn negative as the market takes it up until this resistance.
Okay, okay,
So,
got it. Okay.
so you wait for either end of Monday or Tuesday for hitting this resistance. You get a confirmation that market has started reversing downwards again, which would be visible on your indicators. Then you can start opening your put positions.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Vivek sir, you joined almost when we are talking about weekly. Um, would you like to add anything here? You are muted. If not, then we'll continue on to NASDAQ 100.
Sorry, sir. I was muted. I'm sorry. What I find is that the last candle is a hammer at and the wick rejection is at a moving average level of 6663. So yes, your analysis is right, but I do find a negative crossover at the higher levels of the moving averages going down. So the daily activity is at a dangerous level. So yes, wait for a bounce. Sell on rise is what I would also agree to. Sell on rise. Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect.
Thank you. So let's move on to NASDAQ 100. So NASDAQ 100, similar to what we see for S&P 500, the top 100 tech stocks have similar pattern. It's just in this case, the tail is longer and the uh, hammer body is smaller, showing the stronger downward rejection. The indicators have not turned up, unlike what we saw on S&P 500. They are still slightly downward. Um, However, in terms of the move early next week, can expect it to move up and hit close to 25,320, or if the momentum is even further, it could come up to this resistance level at 25,440. That could be the level that you could be watching for sell on rise trades like put trades. And on the weekly chart, it's very clear, uh, bearish engulfing candle. The body of candle last to last week is completely engulfed or covered by this red candle this week. Indicators are downward, indicating the weekly bearish trend or bears taking control of the trend. The long bullish trend that market had since April, this is a week which has had kind of a strong reversal indication uh, for a weekly timeline. So if you are on a long position, meaning if you have bought for higher targets, it could be good time for you to reconsider and book some of the profits that you might have accumulated over past few months, um, with sell on rise, and have cash for a correction list the weekly correction that might happen for you to re-enter at lower prices.
So Kamal, Nasdaq 100 is QQQ, right? That's the index QQQ follows.
Yes, QQQ follows Nasdaq 100 index.
So for QQQ, what would be a good? I have a long position, so what would be a good selling target for TP1?
Yeah, we'll come to QQQ.
Okay, okay, sir.
Yeah, we'll cover these major indexes and then we'll come to
Okay,
ETFs.
nice.
So SPI is an ETF for SPX and QQQ is an ETF for Nasdaq 100. All right.
Kamal, what is the line below the lower Bollinger Band for your daily chart? Is that a support trend or what is it?
So this is another
Uh,
DC indicator.
the, Something at
Yeah,
about 24,256.
this line.
No, 24,256, the line below the lower Bollinger Band. The
This one.
gray color, yeah, this one.
Yeah, so it's a indicator which gives the high and a low on that
All right,
range.
DC indicator. All right, fine. Well, I'm looking at it this way that your first buying price on Nasdaq, it could be as low as 24,300,
Right, close to the lower Bollinger.
close to the lower Bollinger Band, and that also happens to be somewhere near the mid Bollinger Band range in your weekly chart.
So around this level.
Yes, that's right. Because if you look at the daily chart levels of Williams R, it is minus 71, RSI is at 30 or just above 30. MACD is giving you a negative crossover going down. So, though it's a hammer between the mid Bollinger Band and the low Bollinger Band, but there is a selling pressure coming further, bringing it further down because that is indicated in the weekly bearish engulfing candle,
Yes.
which is almost 2 weeks of engulfing. And the previous week high was again an inverted hammer down. There's an upside price rejection, and the 2 weeks has been engulfed almost. Last 2 weeks have been engulfed in 1 week candle, so there is going to be a selling pressure coming down.
All right. Any questions here? Okay. So we'll move ahead. We didn't talk about DJI, and this is Vivek sir's favorite. So Vivek sir, I'll let you talk about Dow Jones.
It is the same thing as the Nasdaq, not much difference at all. You look at the indicators, they are curving down. MACD has clearly given you a negative crossover. TCI is somewhere near 45, if I'm not mistaken, or yeah, around 47. Our
RS.
Williams are at minus 66. So it is going to go down, though the last day candle is a bullish candle with a long lower wick. But the weekly candle is clearly bearish. Number one. Number two, in the weekly candle, the upper Bollinger Band has started curving down. And in the daily chart, also the upper Bollinger Band is curving and leading to a squeeze. Number one. Number two, the mid Bollinger Band level is something which is the high of last Friday's candle. The yellow line, which is the mid Bollinger Band, is turned flattish on the daily chart and which is the high of the last candle. So the pressure is now below, going towards the lower Bollinger Band. Though candle wise, daily chart says there may be a reversal, which I'm not expecting because the weekly chart is clearly bearish.
So similar sell on rise is the indication from DJI as well.
Also, the DJI can go down up to 45,100
Yeah.
on a weekly chart basis. On the daily chart basis, is at a very strong support at 46,550. The daily
So
chart, which is at 46,550, is a very strong support level happening. Can I share my screen also on Dow Jones?
yes, sir.
If
Go
that
ahead.
is, please just give me 1 minute. I'll show you my screen also. That will show you my confirmation on daily and weekly chart. Gaurav, you have put on weight. Gaurav is one of our students who is pretty good at identifying new trades. All
Thank
right,
you.
guys, can you see my chart?
Yes.
All right. Now this is again a daily chart that I'm showing you on weekly for Dow Jones. This is the trend coming down. Look at MACD negative. Look at CCI flowing down. This is stochastic and this is Fisher, both curving down. Very clearly, market though is there is a downtrend, but the super trend support is at 46,500, which is also a culmination, if you ask me, for a large number of moving averages happening over there at the crossover somewhere here. And the crossovers are very clearly marked. 8 is above, 34 and 21 are all below, right? And this is the way expected to go down because all other indicators are giving bearish signals, right? So I will stop sharing and take it back to Kamal.
No, sir, it's okay. You can continue with
No,
TSX
no,
on that
I
side.
want me to do TSX. All right, I'll show you TSX also. Very similar to Dow Jones, just that TSX actually has shown reversals on two indicators. TSX has shown reversals on two indicators. This is the daily chart at the lower Bollinger Band, giving you a lower wick and pushing it back inside. And daily chart last week, all the 4 days, last 4 days has been around the same low, right? And your stochastic is giving you upturn and MACD is about to give you an upturn. MACD is about to give you an upturn. Flattish, but upturn is about to be shown. So TSX is looking more likely to reverse and go up, but very clearly it is at its lifetime high. So it's a sell on rise or sideways movement for TSX. So if you're buying it around 29,000 or you're buying it around 29,500, use it for a target to 30,500 and look at this blockchain. Look at the block happening here. When you can create this line, right? This is the block in which the price has been moving right the entire October and November. So clear sideways movement at the high of the market is where you can actually see it moving and sideways movement. So you should buy at the lower end in the of the box and try and liquidate and sell at the higher end of the box. All right. Does that answer everybody? Anybody has any questions now on TSX? Come on, please take over.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
This is QQQ. If somebody wants to, which Rohan was asking for. Rohan, can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Now look what is happening on the MACD.
Going down, yeah.
Completely alligator has opened its mouth, it's going to go
Mhm.
down.
So this is, sorry, I can't see the full screen. I'm on my phone. Is it the week? This
No
is
problem.
weekly, right?
This is daily chart.
This is daily. Okay.
So alligator opening his mouth, MACD
Mm-hmm.
down,
Mm-hmm.
TCI going down very clearly.
Okay.
Stochastic and Fisher is also down, and the super trend has turned down to go down. Though the last is a hammer or a dragonfly doji kind of activity here in the last candle, but
Mm-hmm.
still selling pressure is still down.
So, sir, should
Right?
I mean, in the pre-market, should I sell whatever I get, or as Kamal was mentioning, the sell on rise?
It's a sell on rise. Now, where do you sell it is becoming important. So it's very clear you will sell it somewhere near this level,
Sorry, sir, 1 second.
which is, if I may check it on the chart, otherwise should be somewhere around 622.
622.
It's
Okay.
currently at 609. You should be selling it at 622. But again, be very careful as to what is the expiry level. If you're buying, selling at 622, this is your target price 595, 595, 594.
No, sir, I hold a long position, so I'll probably just put a limit sell order for
Yes,
622.
then you can, yeah, but then your target price on the lower side is only 595 or 590. Around 590 to 595 is your target price.
Okay.
If you're selling at 622, this is your closure of 692. Yeah, 622 closure at around 590, 595.
Sorry, sir. Sorry, I didn't get this part. So I already hold
If
the
you
stocks.
if you are selling it, if you are selling it at
Hmm.
selling a strike of or selling it at when the price reaches 620 or 622, if you're selling at 622, you're buying it back at 590, 595,
Okay. Okay, sir. Got it. Okay.
which happens to be the lower Bollinger
Lower
Band
value.
also. And
Okay, sir.
also be it is a support at this level over
Mm-hmm.
here. This
Okay,
is
sir.
626, 592, 591. Yeah?
Yes, sir.
All right. Back to you, Kamal.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for the levels for QQQ. Since we are talking about ETF, let's quickly identify the levels for SPY as well. For those who are trading SPY, look for resistance around 674 to 675 for um, closing your positions or for buying put. And in terms of the support levels to watch for, it would be 650. Lower Bollinger Band here is at 654, which is on the daily chart, and on the weekly chart the mid Bollinger Band is close to 647. That appears to be a strong support. It was a resistance here for almost about 4 weeks, and then a support here, which can be a strong support for SPY. And if you are buying put, you can consider to buy strike of 650 for buying puts. All right.
Sorry, Kamal, can you repeat the level? Sorry, for the sell level, what was it? 675, you said, right?
Yeah, 675,
Uh-huh.
674 to 675
Okay.
on daily chart is the resistance levels that you should be watching for.
Okay.
And for the support, 650
Okay.
would be the support. And if you are buying put, you can look to buy
Bye.
650 strike put.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Great. So with that, we will take this NVDA quested. One, two. So for NVIDIA, similar to what we saw for SPX and NASDAQ 100, it also had a downward price rejection yesterday. However, the indicators are again flat. So for NVIDIA, if you are either currently holding or planning to take a quick trade, can look for resistance at around 194. And if you haven't booked your profits with NVIDIA, uh, when it had a gap up and it had hit a 5 trillion market cap, uh, over 200, I think this could be the second level that you can watch for exiting and booking about 80 to 90% of your position profit, and then watch for correction to re-enter. If you look at weekly chart, the upper Bollinger Band is around 196. So 194.5, 195 could be a good resistance to watch for booking your profits. And for those who will be looking to buy puts, uh, the lower Bollinger Band is at 172 on the daily chart and 177 on the weekly chart. So a put of strike 175 um, could soon be in, and it could give good returns within week to 2 weeks time. The weekly indicators are downward. It also had clear engulfing. The body of the last week was completely engulfed by the this week's red candle, and can easily anticipate coming week. It could happen that Monday you could see that it's all bullish. It's a green day, but towards end of the week you can definitely expect the closing price to be lower than 188, the close price of this week, or at least it make a low lower than the price that we see, the close price of Nvidia now. All right.
So, Kamal, quick
And
question based on the time frames you're using. The puts that we buy when the price it's, let's say, Nvidia it's 195, and we are interested in buying a put for 175. So what should be the expiry, as in how many days to expiry should we target?
So typically for taking calls and puts, we suggest 4 weeks of expiry. If
Okay.
you get a monthly expiry option at 3 weeks, you could consider that as well. So
Okay.
I'm looking at the option chain. The monthly expiry is 21st of November, which is less than 2 weeks. So if you go further, either 5th December or 28th November could be the expiries that you could look for. And while
Okay.
we are here, the as of now, what you see the premium price, this will change depending on the upward move, and when it hits 195, these premiums could be even cheaper. So 175 strike price, if you're looking, it could have dropped to $3 or $3.50 or even lower. Okay. And I'm seeing in terms of open interest, 180 has huge open interest compared to 175. So 180 could also be considered. 180 strike as of now is the last price was 596, which could drop when it moves up, and that can be chosen looking at the high open interest at that strike price. Okay. All right. I see there's a lot of requests in the chat, so we will take two requests per member so that we uh, cover everyone's request, and remaining uh, you can follow up later. So first in the chat is ELF from Rohan. Okay. All right. So ELF, it had earnings, and upon earnings it had a huge gap down. The downward move was followed up with a almost a red candle doji. It had a small wick, but this wick was based on the upward move of the overall market. And if we look on the weekly chart, it's almost a big red marubazu with a very small wick. In terms of indicators, indicators are in oversold region. However, for reversal, I would wait for confirmation on the indicators for reversal before considering to enter. As of now, it almost tried to close this gap, which if we look at high here, the high was 69.53, and the low here was 69. So it almost closed this gap. The wick here and the wick here has touched. So this gap is closed, but still, in terms of strong support, if the market, as we saw on indexes, is bearish, so with the market's bearish trend, it could drop further down. But 49.50 looks to be a strong support. If it falls, then that could be a level that if you want to add to positions.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Alexa, do you have
No,
different opinion? Or,
no, that's right. Perfectly valid.
yeah, thank you. Okay, so next is S&PS. So S&PS also in the last earnings, it had a huge gap down, and then there was some correction, but then it faced resistance at the mid Bollinger Band. And if you look closely, probably the other indicators are darker, but this line is the mid Bollinger Band, so it has been facing resistance on the mid Bollinger Band, and that has been the case. In one attempt, it tried to cross about the mid Bollinger Band, but then got pulled down. It shows that still there is bearish sentiment on this stock. It has it has gone below, in fact, the lower Bollinger Band. Still, the selling has been continuing. It's in over sold region, which is good, but the indicators have not reversed yet. On the daily interval, the indicators are showing oversold. Weekly, because of again the market trend, it has also formed a red candle. It touched the lower Bollinger Band, which is at it's not showing here. Let me expand this at 380, and it made a low of 386. So another $6 it could drop um, for this support, and there could be a week for this support, which was a low back in April. So we are talking about over 7 months uh, low that it could touch if it drops another $30. But these could be the levels that you could be looking for if you would like to add some positions to bring your average down.
Okay.
And for the target, the upper Bollinger Band, mid Bollinger Band is 441, which has been acting as the resistance so far. If it breaks that resistance, that could be the first resistance to look for targets. So TP1. If
Okay.
it breaks that, then the upper Bollinger Band, although it is expanding, uh, the resistance that it has had around this level of 480, 482 could be the 480 to 485 could be the second resistance that you could look for. And if the reversal is strong, then this 200 EMA, which is currently at 504, if it drops further, this would also come down and could be around 500, which would be the third resistance and the target price for you to either exit in some profit or at break even.
Okay. Okay, Kamal. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So overall, it's wait and watch for reversal before you can take any action. All right. So next, I will be taking Raj's request. Raj, out of four, which two would you like to be analyzed?
Maybe AREB, GPUS, and SMPL. Any of these.
Okay. We'll take in your sequence. Okay, because it's a penny stock, so it doesn't show on the chart, but let's go on a short timeline and let's take this. So this is 2 hours, and this one will take on 1 hour. Okay, so with the market slight pullback towards the end, it has also reversed up. 1.3 would be the first resistance to look for, and same is similar level is on the 2 hours candle as well. But this is a way smaller target. Let's see on 4 hours if it can give. Um, do, you, do you remember
What?
what's your average price for this?
2 point something, over $2 actually. So I just want to lower my loss. That's it.
Right.
Because it's
So
earnings, I think it's 13th. Earnings is on 13th or something.
mm, it's not showing here, but okay. Anyway, so let's see if for upper Bollinger Band on 4-hour chart, it's at 163, $1.63, and the EMA here is at 173, which could be the resistances because it has had a steep fall
Mm,
um, after the spike to 378.
yeah.
So the level of 220, which was a mid Bollinger Band here,
Mm,
if momentum is strong because it's a penny
yeah.
stock, and if upon earnings there is some positive news, then it could uh, touch this 225 level as well. As of now, in terms of reversal, the 4-hour candle is doji, so I would not suggest to increase the position based
Yeah.
looking at this candle. Uh, Although the 1-hour candle looks less promising for upward move, but the 4-hour candle is doji. So if you want to add to some positions, wait for a bullish confirmation on the 4-hour candle to add to some positions so that you can bring your average down to either 1.6 or 1.7 for exiting at break even or uh,
Hmm.
smaller loss.
Okay. But if I don't want to add my positions, maybe I should look for 1.30 or 1.50, somewhere that range, just to
Uh,
say.
yeah, so 150 is this level here, uh, which acted as resistance
Yeah.
for almost like might be more than 2 to 3 days. 1, 2, 3, 4. For over 4 days, it acted as the resistance.
Mm,
So because there's an earnings, because of earnings, there could be a positive move which it could try to break. So you can still watch for 160, 163 for exiting if you would like to exit at loss but a lesser loss.
and I mean, should so I think you were suggesting that we should close the positions or trade by November 13th. So what does that mean? I mean, should I just book if there is any loss? Of course, I will be in loss, but should I just sail off and book my losses on 13th or before that, or how should I consider it?
Okay, so the news around that was that for them to maintain listing, they
Uh-huh.
had to comply to the minimum traded value of $1 by November 13th, which they did because it reached up to 378. So obviously they have met the compliance requirement. So
Oh,
they will be trading and they will be listed. So there's
okay. So
nothing to
I
worry
can keep.
about. Yes. So if you would
Oh,
like to hold as well, in terms of this stock, this is going to continue to trade because it met the compliance requirement.
okay. So it will be in trading for another year, or I don't know. So
So
I just wanted to
yeah,
know.
typically NASDAQ and NYSE have a compliance requirement that uh, minimum bid value should be $1 for 10 consecutive days.
Okay.
If they don't meet that requirement, then they get notice from the exchange
Uh-huh.
to meet the compliance requirement. And since they cross $3 value, which is the minimum traded, whenever a stock is listed on NASDAQ or NYSE, the minimum traded price is $3. They where they manage to get traded price over that, so they have essentially meet the exchange requirement to continue listing. So you could still hold
Uh-huh.
uh, if you would like to hold, but in terms of the targets to look for, these would act as the upcoming resistances.
Got it. Got it. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So next,
Maybe we can go for SMPL.
SMPL. Okay. It had uh, dropped recently as well. Yeah, 23rd. Let me change this to weekly. Okay, it gives a chart on weekly chart, and this is daily. All right. So SMPL, it had dropped under the lower Bollinger Band
Mm.
upon earnings, and has been trading sideways. So this is kind of a box that it's trading.
Mm.
Uh, Amya, what's your average price?
My average price is 20.19 for SMPL.
Okay, so your average is good for you to hold for
Mm.
it to recover and close this gap.
Yeah.
If you look on, just
Since
let's
the
see on the weekly and
indicators
daily
are
chart.
showing me, sorry.
What were you saying?
Oh, so on daily chart, and even I check for 4 hours chart at that time when I entered into this stock, it was showing me that it was going up, actually upward on MACD, before that crossover around that time. So I thought I should just enter. So I entered at that time, but Friday was like little red. So, but anyway, I mean, I am okay to hold the positions.
Yeah. So if you look at the monthly chart or even weekly chart,
Mm,
it's in oversold.
yeah,
So the downside is less,
yeah,
and upon reversal, it should give uh, a good upward move. As of now, it's facing resistance around this level 2085. Once it breaks this resistance, then close to 22 could be the first target that you can look for. Then the
yeah.
second resistance would be around
23,
2370, and third resistance around 2550.
25. Yeah.
uh, and 2550 is close to 26, which we see on the weekly chart as well.
But should
So
I increase my
yeah,
positions on this? Is it safe to do right now? Because since the indicators and everything is in kind of it's oversold, so I'm thinking it will sure definitely it will bounce back.
yeah, the downside on this looks smaller compared to the upside, so it's okay to hold because you entered after it fell in the oversold region.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's just that because of market trend, your target price, it will not reach this week. It might take longer time.
Yeah, but should I? I mean, is it okay if I buy more?
uh, Buy, if you would like to buy, then buy towards the end of this week, when the market, the downward move of the market, once it happens, it might also drop again to this low that it had back on October 23rd.
Yeah,
It may touch those lows,
Yeah.
So if you are planning to add more to your positions, better to wait for it to see that if it touches those low or if it goes even further lower, then you can add to your
Yeah.
positions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Vivek sir, do you have a different opinion, or is that okay with you as well?
No, I think that's fine. It's perfectly valid.
And if possible, can we go for GPUS if possible?
Yeah, you have GPUS and Zia has SPUS. So, see, GPUS again, it's more than half of any stock, so we won't see on the day or weekly timelines. But
Mhm.
if you look on the 4 hour and 2 hour chart, on 2 hours chart, it has taken support at the lower Bollinger Band and it has uh, reversed up.
Yep.
In terms of the target, because we are looking at 4 hour chart, so the high per EMS could be the target 41 cent and 48 cent, because it's a penny stock.
Mhm.
uh, when it gives a momentum up, it's easier to touch the EMA levels. So if you see here on 2 hours chart as well, 41.88 cent, that 41 cent could be your first target,
Hmm.
48 cent could be your second target, and if it carries the momentum further up, then 66 cent could be the third target.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So Sia has requested for SPUS, which is terms of code. It's similar to GPUS. It's a S&P 500 index. Okay, let me change this to weekly chart, and this would be daily. So Zia, since this is an ETF which follows S&P 500, the analysis that we did at the start of the call for S&P 500 and SPY, the analysis would hold good. In terms of the levels for this, the resistance level that you could look for is currently it is at $50.20. You could watch for it to take resistance around $50.75 to $50.85. That could be the level where, if you are already holding it for some period, you could plan to book your profits, 75 to 80% of your positions at least. Or if you'd like to book profits on all of your positions and then wait for correction to happen on the weekly chart and re-enter at the support, which is 47.50, you can look for re-entry. That's the support level. Okay. All right. So next we'll go to Afif. I know Afif and Vivek are trading Tesla. So on the daily chart, um, the indicators are clearly downward. It had a small wick towards the closing, similar to other stocks, but the indicators are still downward. On a weekly chart, it had kind of a bearish engulfing, and almost 3, 6, 7 to 8 weeks it has been trading in this level. So with the weekly indicators clearly downward, expect bearish move in the coming week and watch for support close to 381 here. Uh, that's on the weekly chart. The EMA 100 is at 388, which is close to those levels. If the bearish move is with heavy volume, the next support could be 353, which again would depend upon the volume and this upward move that it had early September. Uh, it could come to this level which acted as the resistance previously. So 355 would be good entry price for holding for medium term.
So Kamal bhai, so I bought like Tesla at 440 because I identified the support level at 440. It
Mhm.
was, in my opinion, it was a strong support, but then uh, with the
It
bearish
broke that
sentiment, it
support
went
last.
down. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a
So
strong support. Yes, indeed, it was a strong support, but
mhm.
that support got broken yesterday,
Yeah,
and
it did. Yeah.
now with that support broken, uh, the volume that it had was considerable volume. If you look, this volume is higher than the average volume. So which means the market sentiment on Tesla has turned bearish, and you can expect it to go to the next support levels.
Okay. So should I like just sell it and then take my losses and then reinvest when it comes to the support levels? What would you suggest?
Okay, so similar to what we discussed on the indexes, uh, the start of week could be an opportunity for rise on sell. So if it moves up on Monday or Tuesday, you might get an opportunity to sell at above your buy price. I see here mid Bollinger Band is 445 and the EMAs are coming close to 447, 449. Those could be
Okay.
the levels that you could look for, wherein you will not be making much profit, but at least you will
Minimize the
close
loss.
on the position so that it doesn't turn negative later in the week.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Okay.
you can keep your target prices in the system and watch closely tomorrow and Tuesday, sorry, on Monday and Tuesday, so that you can come out of it before it turns red.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. CLS, Celestica.
Uh, I'm looking at the Toronto Exchange. This one for CLS.
That's fine. I think. Let me see if I have CLS. Okay, it's not doing, coming up here, but in terms of analysis, it would remain similar. Just the levels that you will be looking would be in CAD. Okay,
Okay.
so for this, what's your average price?
I'm just looking to enter this. I don't
You
have
would
any
be looking to
positions right
enter
now.
now.
Yeah, maybe like coming week. Yeah.
So if we look at Celestica from April, it has been on a bullish trend, and right now this is the weekly chart. It had gone above the upper Bollinger Band, made a high at 363, and now the candle that it has formed, it's a not a clear bearish confirmation, but the indicators are giving a bearish move. So for entry at this time, looking on the weekly chart, monthly chart, it's still in the overbought region. So this
Okay.
is a level where you would be looking to close the position, not enter. Okay, so wait for it to correct, and this correction is good opportunity. If you are interested in entering in this stock, then keep in your watch list and watch for the support levels to enter. So on the daily chart, this 238 could be the support that you could look for. On the weekly chart, 247, and the mid Bollinger Band is 233. So the levels that you should be looking for entering are this 233 to 240 could be a good buy price depending upon the market overall trend. If
Okay.
the market is bearish, wait for the market reversal. It's okay if you enter at 240 or 250 instead of 248 when the upward trend is confirmed
Okay.
upon reversal. You can still keep some quantity at limit buy at 238. So when it hits you, your order executes. But for considerable positions, wait for reversal confirmation. And indicators would give you reversal on daily and weekly charts. And if you are looking, if you would like earlier confirmation, look on the 4-hour chart.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Right. You're welcome. All right. So next we will go to Gaurav. Gaurav has requested TOU, which was uh, it may not show up here. Mm. Gaurav,
Uh,
I believe this is the
Toronto
oil.
Exchange, yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
it's oil.
Yeah. So this was once I made good profits from TOU, and because it's getting winter time, so might be at a good
Yeah,
price.
I
Yeah,
believe
it
it's
was
a
one
good
hour.
timing from a season perspective as well. And
Yes.
it did seem that it's a good time to enter it. So when I was looking at it on the weekly chart, I'll probably just give you a summary of why I think it's a good one to enter. So the weekly chart, of course, it has a red candle and with a very small wick at the bottom, but typically the 58 to 60 is a good buy zone for TOU. If I look historically, that's where, between 58 and 60 is when it has typically reversed. And on the day chart, I see I wouldn't really call it a hammer because it has a small tip at the top, but a strong downward price rejection. Uh, so that's what gives me some tingles about it's in a good buy zone plus the entry into the winter season. So that's where it looks a good prospect to me.
Right. Thanks for sharing your view on this. Looking at the last candle, because it's a green doji, so and since you are very interested in the stock, you could enter. However, for confirmation, I would still wait for one more uh, bullish confirmation candle. It
Hmm.
I might be able to enter at a slightly higher price, but um,
But a more confident
I would
trade.
still recommend to wait for confirmation, because especially when we started looking on the weekly chart, it has closed below the mid Bollinger Band, and the next support level is not too far, but at least $1 lower than the current price.
Right.
So uh, yeah, that 59 looks to be a good support.
Hmm.
It has taken support here second time, third time. So wait for $1 drop, which
Okay.
is the lower Bollinger Band is in fact saying that level 59.30, which we saw on the mm, weekly chart. The low
Hmm.
here was 59, but the close of this is close to 59.10. So wait for it. Probably in one or two sessions, it might touch the lower Bollinger Band, and when you see a reversal, that could be a good entry point.
Fair enough. Yeah. Thanks, Kamal.
Okay,
That's a good suggestion. Yeah. And the other thing I was thinking was
59,
probably another
59.30.
good entry point could really be the day of the dividend, because it has a 25-cent dividend coming in, and I look that as an opportunity. That means that's the day when the price could likely fall a bit, and for the long term it gives you a better entry point. So you may lose out on the dividend, but you get a good entry.
Yes, so typically people enter few days before the record date, and post dividend there's a sell off because people want to move their money. So that's the day for entering. So yeah,
Yeah,
you're
that's
right. Post dividend, you could get a better buy price for holding it longer.
Yeah, but Gaurav, I would suggest that it's a short trade of for a few dollars up only. So from buying it around 59, keep your target for 50, 60 to 50 and 60 to 75, something of that kind. That is the swing trade happening on the weekly and the daily chart,
okay, sir.
right? And the lower target that you're talking about after dividend, instead of 59, it is coming to 58 or 57.75,
Right. Yeah. I mean, on the
right?
dividend date, I'm
So
expecting it
it's
to go
only
down quite a bit.
Uh, there's exactly only just $1 here and there. So might as well because 50 between 58 and 59, the entry point will may only be a wick entry.
Yes.
Yes.
It will be a wick entry, and the entry is for a clear exit at around 60 to 50 to 60 to 85.
Right.
So
So
it's
I am
approximately
intending
about
to
three and a
hold
half
it through
dollars.
the winter, because I expect it to give a good return end of January or early February when the results come out, being an oil stock.
Being an oil stock, but what if the Ukraine war is resolved?
Yeah.
That is the risk which one will take. So which is why, I mean, as I would always be telling you, profit in pocket is better than profit outside pocket.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed.
Right? So
Mutual
just keep
agreement.
that in mind. Otherwise, the trade is a very good trade. I mean, I've already analyzed the other two trades also. TOU is what I would like to go with. The other two are anyway. I mean, as Kamal will just point them out. I think the other two are anyway in the downtrend. PJT and PZA are. PZA is the pizza company, am I right?
Yep.
Yeah, I think they're already in the downtrend.
Right.
That is my observation, which I've already done. So that Kamal will of course work on it.
Yes. So since you have already checked it out, if you'd like to share your
No, no,
view.
no, no, no. You carry on. I've just given him my broad opinion.
Yeah. So it is in downtrend, and probably it came up in Gaurav's screener. Gaurav, did you enter or you looked at it for entering?
Yeah, I am in this actually. The big candle came after the results because they had not so good results given compared to the similar quarter last year, and they came down 16%. And that's where I entered. So I'm already 1.5% up. Probably I'm looking at Monday or Tuesday to close this trade down. Only was looking at if there's an opportunity for this, because I see a initial reversal sign coming up. uh, is it worth, pursuing further, or should I simply book my profit on Monday, Tuesday, and get out of it?
Yeah. Okay. So let's,
Because
because
it
you
has
are
had
already on it.
about 16% of fall after the results came out, and I mean that was a knee-jerk reaction that typically comes when you have very bad results. So I was expecting something to move upwards, at least a small move upwards, and that's where I entered.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, so on the earnings it had big drop, and then now it is having the buyers coming in because it's in oversold region. And Gaurav,
Hmm.
your entry price is good, so I moved to 4-hour chart because you said that you're looking to exit. uh, 71 could be the first target, and 74, which is the mid Bollinger Band here on 4-hour chart. uh, yeah, 71 is also the lower Bollinger Band which it would try to touch, and lower Bollinger Band would also expand to get the candles within. If you would like to keep uh, few positions open for higher targets, that can be done, but keep only smaller quantity. Because of this big drop, it might take longer time to close the this drop.
Yep.
Although it has not formed a gap down because this is a TSX. Probably on uh, the US one there might be a gap as well, but for recovering this it could take many months. So you could look to book your profits at 71 for major portion, keep some for 74, and then just a small portion for if you'd like to hold it longer.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I wouldn't go that far. I'd probably be done by the time it reaches 74. So, like sir said, a profit in the pocket is where I'd like to be.
Absolutely. So yeah, 71 and 74 could be the targets for you.
Thanks, Kamal.
You're welcome. And then pizza, pizza. This again, uh, based on the last day's move, because it was almost red day and it has had a reversal closing, long tail with a green almost um, giving a bullish pattern. Have you entered or are you looking to enter it?
No, I'm looking to enter it. I'm still waiting for a buy signal on my system as well. But I mean, the moment it reaches the EMA 5 high, I get a buy. So it's giving me indications that it might hit there, but just getting a feel whether I want to, or trying to get a feel of whether it's worth pursuing or not.
Yeah, on the daily chart, it has formed almost bullish harami,
Hmm.
although the tail is uh, it doesn't give a exact pattern, but still the long tail is a uh, downward pressure, pressure from downward to take it up. In terms of buy, it I think it's good to enter for target first target around 1460, 1460, 1480, 85. There's a small gap on 4-hour chart as well.
Well, I wouldn't really be
This might
looking for
come.
this at the short term, Kamal. I'd essentially be again looking at this to survive the winter because it gives a good dividend of 6%, and B, post winter results could essentially bolster the price up again.
Okay, so you would
It's a
like to
monthly
hold it
dividend,
longer.
so yeah.
Okay, but uh, two weekly bearish candles, and looking at monthly chart, it has not touched the mid Bollinger Band yet. So for a longer hold, I would wait for confirmation in terms of making sure that it doesn't continue further up. This it was forming red candles, and then it had almost like three black crows,
Correct.
right? So that doesn't give much strength in the stock looking at this pattern. So if you are looking for a longer hold, then it would be good to wait for a week to get a reversal on the weekly chart before
Fair enough.
entering, because it had a upward move here. If the bearish sentiment continues, it might go further down to the
1330. Yeah.
next, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
this level where it acted as resistance before, and which is what seems to be the level on the monthly chart.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah.
I'm
Probably
not
it's not.
looking at 1330. I'm looking at 1350 weekly chart
Yeah,
and the 233 moving average. It's at two for already at 230 240. Sorry, 1347. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
37. Yeah, yes,
Right?
sir, we can hear you. We are just
Just
looking at the.
if you guys just stop sharing, I'll share you my screen.
Sure.
Same stock. You see my screen now,
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
right? So this is the weekly chart. In the weekly chart, watch very carefully. MACD has just turned bearish and gone below the zero line. CCI is at minus 230, oversold position. Stochastic is still turning down, and super trend has turned negative just 2 weeks back. So before, only when the super trend turns flattish can you think of some revival and going back upward, which is why I'm looking to buy in this range, which is anything between 1345 or 1350 and 1375. In this range is where I would like to buy. This range is also, if you watch very carefully, is the range here,
Right.
this block, which happens to be the weekly 233 moving average.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a very strong support around 1350, 1347 or 1360. This is the area I would buy. So give it another week more to fall. But after this fall, this doji candle on the week is giving you some indication that there is possibly buying happening, but give it a week. Currently at 1432, give it another about 50 cents to fall further.
Because makes sense.
That's number one. Number two, if you really want to take the trade, then the low of this candle. The low is 1414, so buy it around 14 and keep a stop loss of 1350. 50 cents stop loss, so buy it around 14 or 1380 and then take it up. This is the weekly chart. This is the monthly chart. In the monthly chart, the MACD is clearly opened out. No reversals in MACD. PCI maybe, but the other two are still downward. And he has just gone outside the lower Bollinger Band, below the 200-day moving average. This is the 200-day moving line, and you are
Okay.
below the 200-day moving average on a
Right.
daily chart.
Right. Right. Right.
So you have to wait for this chart to come
Come
above the
up.
200-day moving average to think about any kind of recovery back,
Right.
right?
Right, sir. Take it.
All right. Chalo.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Yeah. So we have about 5 minutes. We'll take three more requests. So I see Abbas has requested FBL and Vivek has requested Meta. So the analysis would be similar. I'll take um, FB Meta first, and then we'll quickly touch for FBL. Um, Meta, it is on the oversold region both in the weekly and daily chart, and based on the last day's closing, there has been interest in terms of entering it. If we look at RSI, the RSI on the weekly chart is almost touching 30, which has been the range where it used to reverse. So it's almost at the levels on the weekly chart for reversal. So at this price, in terms of the move, because it has was formed candle which indicates that it could make a upward move. So if you are planning to enter, you if you have already entered towards the close of market, or if you are planning to enter on Monday morning, you could enter for the target at 680, 675, 680. Because the overall market trend is expected to be bearish, I would say book your profits if you are entering. This entry may not be suitable for long term hold.
Okay.
Although the gap it had, if it breaks this resistance at 680, it could go to 700, 710.
Yeah.
But the overall market trend would impact Meta as well.
Okay.
Right?
I already entered, Kamal. I entered actually YMET, which is the yield share thing, because of the dividend and everything.
Yeah.
Because there's no point in just entering and holding forever. So I entered that. That goes like kind of 11% or 10%, something like that, around that range. So I think that would. I'm expecting it. It would reverse next week, and we'll get out of it once I'm in more in profit. I mean, in positive. Yeah, more.
Right. Yeah. So at the start of the week, you can expect your position to be in profit, and plan to book your profits by either Tuesday morning or Tuesday midday. If you see that it is facing resistance around 200 EMA. Okay.
Yeah.
If you would like to hold for higher target, keep small quantity just in case if it gives a further bullish move, but you still have a chance to come out of it if it starts selling off. Okay. Similar for FBL, if you have entered, that's towards the end of Friday, it's a good entry price, and look for target. First target could be 37, the almost high of this, and then the 200 EMA here is 39.45, so look for 39.40 as the target or 2 cents lower. Expecting it to close this gap, it may not close this with this move based on the market trend that we are expecting. It might close later on, but for now, better to book your profits when it starts facing resistance around this 39.50 level.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome, and we'll take open, and then last will be Bitto. Open. Yes, for open, it has been trading in almost in this channel for some time after it hit over $10. It dropped lower under lower Bollinger Band last session, but then it had buyers coming in and it gave almost a green Maru Bazu closing, which means uh, on Monday we can expect its price to go higher. So for open, the upper Bollinger Band is almost curving up. Mid Bollinger Band, it was downward, this one, but it's almost flattening. So watch for the move in the coming session on Monday, and if it faces resistance at the mid Bollinger Band level at 7:30 on um, Tuesday, you could exit, or if it's able to break this resistance, then the next target to look for would be the upper Bollinger Band at close to $8. In terms of the weekly trend, um, it's currently at almost midway in the Williams R, and RSI is also 52. So from strength perspective, it has potential to go further up. Um, but for the this coming week, watch for these levels 7.35 and $8. If it reaches and you are in positive, you could plan to book profit. If your average is higher, um, it has potential to go further up, so you can hold. But with the market trend, it it might impact as well. So uh, try to come out in at least like 60 to 70% position at these levels if you are in positive, and hold remaining for the higher targets.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. And then last is B2, and this is from Anish. It's Bitcoin ETF. Yeah. Okay. So one of the benefit of these ETFs is that these are high yield ETF. As you can see, it's based on the current price, it's giving 62% yield. And in terms of frequency, it's not mentioned here, but the yield is good. So if you are planning to enter around current price, it would be good hold for a swing trade. It has made a clear bullish engulfing pattern in the last session, and the levels that you could look for holding 1750 or 1836, $18. Yeah, so 1750
I'll
first target, $18 second target. And if you're planning to hold longer, it may not reach the all-time high levels or the weekly upper Bollinger Band level, because it still depends on Bitcoin, and with the markets you can expect Bitcoin also to follow the overall US market trend.
Yeah, one quick background here, bro. So I have BATO with around average of $22, but until now the dividend was, sort of making it balanced. I'm in neutral now. So
Mhm.
going forward, does it make sense to hold and keep getting the dividends, or it's time to sell off?
All right, that's a good question. So for those who might be wondering how his average is that, so typically with these high yield ETFs, they have uh, NAV value which reduces its intrinsic price. They keep giving dividends, and as Anish had shared that he is almost like break even. So in that case, you could hold it for coming out above or at $18, so that the dividends that you would have collected up to now would be your profit, but then it might not be able to reach $22, as don't see on the chart here. Probably was it on in the extended market that it had reached 22?
I'm holding it for quite some time, like I think more than 7-8 months, I would say.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So typically these high yield ETFs, because they keep sharing the profit through the regular dividends, their intrinsic value reduces because they are still um, depending on the underlying asset, in this case Bitcoin's trend. And since Bitcoin has taken a correction trend, the Bitcoin's in, intrinsic value has come down, and at the same time they have not stopped giving the dividends. So that's why its ETF's value comes down, and so you are seeing a drop in the ETF's price. If you are, I think, if you can um, calculate the dividends that you have received, and if you close your position, let's say at $18, and you would still be in profit, then it's okay to close your position and come out of it, even though your buy price might be 22 and it might appear that you are closing in loss, but you have got the returns through the dividends. For
Makes
expecting
sense.
it to go to 19 or even 22 with the current trend looks unlikely. If it would have been a bullish trend, I might have recommended to hold, but with the current trend, um, if it doesn't touch 19 and continues going further down, your dividends would keep coming, but your overall um, position would be more negative.
Okay, thank you so much, Kamal.
You're welcome.
Anis, one piece of advice on B2. In case if it closes above 18 or it
Mhm.
closes at around 1810 on a daily closing basis, above 1810, 18.10, then you can look for a higher target only. But then that would mean a trend reversal happening above $18.
Okay, okay.
But because 1810 is a very strong resistance which is now being formed at 18.10. Yeah, actually 1790 and 1805 is the resistance zone. If
Okay.
it closes above on a closing daily day closing basis, only then can you look for a higher target. Otherwise, around 18, you should be able to take a
Close it down.
resistance over
Yeah.
there. Take a
Okay.
resistance level there.
Okay, sir. Thanks. Thank you for the insights.
Most welcome.
Yeah, although it's not appearing here. So because Bitcoin had a drop, that's why uh, B2 has also corrected, and now if it
Because because
is,
B2 has a gap down from 31st October to 3rd of April, November. And that gap has to get filled in, and that gap filling is only happening after 1820. 1817 is the gap filling, which is why 1810 and above, it will fill the gap up.
yeah, but that
Okay.
for that gap to fill, BTC needs to make an all-time high, which
Naturally.
looks likely with the trend.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Got it. Got it. Thanks.
Okay. All right. All right. We are over 3 p.m. So we'll pause here, and if there
So
are any further requests,
Vivek has asked for one more PLTR.
PLTR. So, all right, we'll take this as the last request. And
Thank you, Kamal. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Most welcome.
Okay. PLTR has been in news. Just will take it. So just to give a background about PLTR Vexer. So they had a very good, amazing earnings, better than they had ever had, and then it had a drop, and it
Yes.
was a sell-on news, very perfect example of a sell-on news when market was expecting a positive earnings, everything was perfect, and Mr. Michael Burry, who is known as the Big Shot, he had high quantity of puts, which brought it down.
All right.
Yeah, and here's the reasoning because the P value of this stock was over 400. Sure, if it's showing here,
Yeah.
and yeah, 416 P value, which is after this weeks of correction. So that was the reasoning.
Yes.
I think that when he sold, it was over 500, and that made sense from fundamentals and also from technicals. Um, After this drop, we can clearly see on the weekly chart it has had a bearish engulfing, and it almost touched the mid Bollinger Band and on the lower Bollinger Band. So from here on the daily chart there is a reversal because it touched the lower Bollinger Band and the mid Bollinger Band on the daily chart. But again, in terms of the overall market trend, I still see that this is also a sell on rise um, position wherein the targets could be around 188, 190. There's a gap down here, um, but unless the market takes a bullish trend, this gap down might take time to close. And its bull run. Uh, so VX sir, just for your view. So from last year, it was around $20 and it has gone up over $207.
So Vivek, what
And
kind of trade are you expecting in this?
Sir, I'm actually holding its yield shares. It's called YPLT. The same. It's going to be the same trend.
Yeah, but
So,
what are you expecting?
sir, it's going to be bearish for some time
Up
unless
to where? Up to where?
all this call. But the thing is, like currently, if it is touching the Bollinger Bands, it could reverse. Because what my feeling is, although the whole market is doing one thing, some one or two stocks could bounce back.
Hmm. Hmm.
That is what I'm expecting for Meta. That is what I'm expecting for this.
All right. Kamal, will you just stop sharing? I will share the same thing on weekly chart.
sure.
Right? So Vivek, I'm sharing the same thing on weekly chart and tell me now what do you do? And I will give you the level of 152.
Oh, sir, then I will be a bag holder when
This
collecting dividends, sir.
because look on the weekly chart, it is touching the mid Bollinger Band and the fall, and support trend is turned flat at 151. Look
Yes.
at MACD negative. Look at CCI slanting down, stochastic slanting down, Fisher slanting down.
Mm.
So on a weekly chart, the trend is 152.
Mm-hmm.
That is the support. And below that, the next support is 138.
Oh, okay, sir.
This is the weekly chart.
Mm-hmm.
Change this to a day and you will get what you want. The super trend has just turned negative 2 days back.
Yeah.
The super trend has turned negative And this is the daily support of super trend is 169, which is still about almost $8 lower, $8 $9. First buying level, and then somewhere here, 150, 150 or 163, second buying level.
Sir, if the government shutdown stops on Monday, wouldn't it all reverse?
If the government shuts
The
stocks on
government
Monday,
shutdown that is already happening in
ah,
US, that
yes,
if
yes.
that reverses,
If that reverses,
I mean, if the shutdown is taken off, then if they
huh,
come back to work,
then of course, then there is buoyancy in the market because then the people are feeling things are limping back to normalcy. Then things will suddenly turn around.
Yeah, and that's almost like on the cards that shutdown is going to be called off. So that's why
Then
I'm
then
expecting.
then you will have a lot of buoyancy in the market. But the indicators currently are all talking about, look at MACD and CCI and others are all talking falling down on a daily chart also. But if the shutdown happens, I mean, if the shutdown stops, if they're back to normalcy, then things can of course be wonderfully well. Then it could be a good buoyant bounce back.
sure, sir. I mean, but anyway, I have some position in it, but the thing is, like, I'm okay to collect that monthly distribution for some time until
Ah,
that way I can
yeah.
pay myself.
So we are so fortunate that we have amongst all of us, we have one person who's collecting monthly dividend and Gaurav there collecting, finding out stocks for actual entry. So you have two different categories of investors and traders with us.
I mean, just trying to play it a little bit strategically, sir. But I
I
also
know, I
have
know, I
a
know.
small account which where I kind of do the trades that Kamal suggest, which are like penny stocks and stuff.
Hmm.
But I'm more inclined towards these kind of Mag 7, similar to Vivek Nalavade, who always
Yeah.
does that. So, kind of trying,
Vivek is a typical MACD reversal player.
yeah. So, just trying to keep that active. Yeah.
Wonderful.
So, actually, I moved from Calgary, sir. So, that's why,
I know.
like,
I was reading you're moving to Montreal, I believe.
no, sir, I'm actually in PEI, Charlottetown.
All right.
Yeah.
Lovely.
So,
Because I was reading your messages that you were looking for transporters and all that. So
yes, sir, I
I
wanted
knew you were moving out of where you were.
to, yeah.
Good.
Yeah, yeah. Awesome. All right. Thanks. So thanks everyone for joining this analysis session, and hopefully this discussions in this session helps you in planning your trades in the coming week, and hope you have a good profitable trading week ahead. With that, thank you everyone, and if anyone would like to hang around, you can. But we'll be closing this session for now. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.